Your hands shouldn't hurt after just an hour in the yard, but if you've ever put down your manual pruners because your fingers were swollen, your wrist was on fire, or you just couldn't squeeze one more time, you already know the problem. Electric pruning shears fix that completely, and the 7 on this list cut hand fatigue by up to 70%. Whether you're tackling thick hardwood, shaping delicate rose bushes, or reaching high canopy branches that usually mean dragging out a ladder, one of these is going to feel like it was built specifically for your situation. All the links are in the description so you can check prices whenever you want. Let's get into it. Starting off strong, the Worx WG330 Nitro genuinely surprises you the first time you pick it up. Running on the Worx 20-volt PowerShare platform with a brushless motor, it delivers up to 12,000 newtons of clamping force while weighing barely over 2 pounds. The blades have a titanium coating that actively repels sap, so when you're cutting through pine or fresh green wood, nothing gums up. A single 2 amp-hour battery can last an entire day of residential pruning without a recharge. The housing near the cutting head is a bit chunky, which means tight branch clusters take some maneuvering, but that trade-off gives you something remarkable. Release the trigger mid-cut and the blade instantly reverses. If you accidentally catch a trellis wire or start cutting the wrong branch, you abort immediately. Picture yourself on a calm weekend morning, one hand holding your coffee, the other holding the Worx, casually trimming back that overgrown hedge along the fence. No loppers, no hand cramps, just clean, effortless cuts while you enjoy the sunshine. For general home use, this is phenomenal. 2 pounds of cutting force is great for most yards, but what happens when you run into a thick oak limb and the blade just stops? That's the exact scenario the DeWalt DCPR320D1 was designed for. This thing has a 1.5-inch cutting capacity, the largest in the handheld pruner class. It runs on the DeWalt 20-volt max platform and delivers 1,100 cuts on a single charge. The pistol grip design gives it enormous mechanical leverage right at the blade apex, and it slices through 3/4-inch live oak without flinching. It weighs 5.3 pounds, so it's built for shorter, aggressive cutting sessions rather than all-day overhead work. The trigger requires a full cycle reset for every cut, which feels a little methodical when snipping small twigs, but if you manage a rural property with mature pecan, oak, or overgrown crepe myrtles, nothing on this list matches its brute force. This is the tool that bridges the gap between hand loppers and a reciprocating saw. Power is covered, but what about those branches 15 feet up that you can't even reach? The Seesii 2-in-1 solves that with a telescopic pole that extends from 5 to 9 feet, giving you up to 15 feet of working reach from the ground. The cutting head detaches for handheld use, has a 1.6-inch cutting diameter, a brushless motor, and ships with 2 batteries included. Imagine a row of fruit trees with the upper canopy totally out of control. Instead of wrestling a ladder onto soft, uneven ground, you just extend the pole, angle the articulating head, and make clean flush cuts without your feet ever leaving solid earth. Outstanding for high canopy work and fence line clearing. The assembled weight around 8 pounds on that fully extended pole does require some core strength for longer sessions. Also worth knowing, certain batches have been flagged for internal wiring issues, so always supervise battery charging and never leave them plugged in overnight. When this tool works correctly though, it's an absolute beast. Alright, here's where things take an unexpected turn. The Yaw brushless pruner might be the smartest buy on this entire list for the right person. Instead of locking you into a proprietary battery system, it accepts DeWalt 20-volt, Milwaukee 18-volt, or Makita 18-volt batteries. If you already own any of those platforms, you grab the Yaw as a bare tool in the budget tier and skip buying an entirely new charger and battery kit. It weighs 1.6 pounds without a battery, features SK5 Japanese steel blades, and has an adjustable jaw that toggles between 0.8 and 1.2 inches. That adjustable opening is a game changer nobody talks about. Switch to the short throw mode and blade travel gets cut in half, letting you snip through hundreds of small suckers at almost machine gun speed while saving battery life. The LCD screen shows your cut count and remaining charge in real time. It won't match the DeWalt on thick, dense hardwood, reaching its limit around 3/4-inch oak, but for the 90% of everyday pruning that involves softwood and vines, the value here is absurd. Your spouse will probably steal it from you within a week. Consider yourself warned. Every tool so far uses a binary trigger, meaning the blade fires at full speed or not at all. The Milwaukee M12 model 2534-20 completely changes that. Running on the 12-volt M12 red lithium platform with a brushless motor, it cuts up to 1.25 inches despite the lower voltage. Its progressive variable trigger tracks the exact micro position of your finger. Pull halfway, the blade closes halfway and stops. You can gently clamp onto a branch, verify the exact cut placement, and then commit. For ornamental landscaping, bonsai work, or vineyard management where a single wrong cut can ruin an entire shape, that control is non-negotiable. The inline design slides deep into thorny canopies without snagging, and battery efficiency is remarkable, delivering over 1,000 cuts on a compact cell. It sits in the premium tier and lacks a belt clip out of the box, so plan on grabbing the aftermarket sheath. But if your work demands surgical precision, this is the gold standard. You might be thinking that kind of technology must cost a fortune, and the Milwaukee does sit at the top of the price range. The Craftsman V20 CPR320D1 offers a clever shortcut. Both Craftsman and DeWalt are owned by Stanley Black & Decker, and this tool shares a significant amount of engineering DNA with the pricier DeWalt. You're getting a lightly detuned version of professional technology at a noticeably lower price. It ships with battery and charger included, offers 1¼ inch cutting capacity, and features tool-free blade changes so you can swap a dull blade in seconds without any hex keys. The pistol grip design is a bit wide for tight interior shrub work, and the battery ecosystem stays mostly within yard tools rather than expanding into professional platforms. But for someone who needs to spend a Saturday morning taming overgrown bamboo, clearing storm debris, or just getting the yard back under control, it delivers exactly what you need without any fuss. Straightforward, reliable, done. The Kebtek Clean Cut YDN-B007 takes a completely different approach from everything else on this list. Instead of chasing cutting power or extra features, it went all in on weight reduction. At just 880 grams, under 2 pounds, this is the lightest pruner here by a wide margin. It pairs a brushless motor with razor-sharp SK5 Japanese steel blades and a progressive trigger for fine control, plus 2 batteries for 6 to 8 hours of continuous use with 0 downtime. Think about spending an entire morning in the rose garden, making hundreds of precise cuts, and your hand feels exactly the same at the end as when you started. For anyone dealing with arthritis or reduced grip strength, this turns pruning from something you dread into something you genuinely enjoy. The cutting capacity maxes out at 1 inch, so you'll still need the DeWalt for thicker material. But for high-volume work on smaller branches and vines, nothing here is this comfortable for this long. So here's the breakdown. For the best balance of weight, safety, and everyday versatility, go Worx WG330. Raw power on thick hardwood, the DeWalt is the undisputed king. High branches without a ladder, Seesii all the way. Tight budget with batteries already in your garage, the YOV is next-level value. Professional precision and surgical blade control, the Milwaukee is in a class of its own. The Craftsman is the perfect grab-and-go kit for the casual homeowner who wants reliability without overthinking it. And if comfort and minimal weight are the top priorities, the Kebtek is your answer. All the links are in the description. If this helped you pick the right one, drop a comment and let me know which you went with. See you in the next one.